Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nadia. I'm a Vedic Astrologer and Psychic Medium. So, today we are going to talk about Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio for each zodiac sign. As usual, I will divide my explanation into several parts, and the timestamp will be in description box along with my personal details if you're interested to book a personal reading with me. Pardon me if I sound a bit off or my voice just not clear because today Mercury moves retrograde and I got cold. Okay, so all right, now Mercury retrograde. We're having Mercury will be retrograding in the sign of Scorpio itself. That means it will be in the same zodiac sign. Start from 27, 26 November, depend on your location, until 15 of December. Okay, December. All right. So during this period, Mercury actually will be moving from the Jyeshta Nakshatra and then into Anuradha. Okay. Anting will enter Anuradha around 9th of December. So before we jump into every sign and what's gonna happen and all of this thing, let me just give you a brief explanation why I feel that this Mercury retrograde can be slightly problematic and dangerous. So, Mercury retrograding under the dispositor, obviously, the ruler of it is Mars. Mars is debilitated in the sign of Cancer. Okay, let me just make it in this way. Okay, I think now it's just much better. So we just depend on the color Porsche. All right. Regardless, wherever Scorpio sign is in your chart, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces, it may always have the dark side of it that we cannot really ignore. Okay. No matter, I'm not talking here about the personality or character of the people. Okay, I'm talking here about the dignity of the sign when we are judging something. Okay, Scorpio, naturally, wherever it sits, whether it's your first house, whether it's in your 10th house, whether it's just in your fourth, second, whatever you want, it will always hold the element of the eighth house, aka transformation, change, sudden issues, problems, okay? Or maybe also resolve things. Chances suddenly pop up in your face. That's always the element of Scorpio. But because Scorpio may have more of negative traits of it, that's why I always call it as an evil sign, all right? Again, I'm talking here from the dignity perspective, not as a person, not as a personality and whatsoever. So I put disclaimer as a dignity, the dignity of Virgo, Scorpio, sorry, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces always gives that evil side of it. Now, when Mercury moves retrograde, true enough, it will be in its own nakshatra and then move to the Earth's nakshatra, Saturn. It definitely will give us the vibe of transformation, right? But in which way it is, it depends on what your intuition actually tells you, to be very honest, because Scorpio and Cancer, both of them are quite intertwined with each other, right? It will depend kind of your psychic sign or intuitive inside of you to which direction this Mercury retrograde will give and bring. But there will be unexpected kind of event will happen mostly through our life. Okay, regardless whether you are going through Mercury Dasha, Antradasha or not, or you have a very peaceful life, or you have a chaotic life. Something will happen. To which extent it is, it depends on your chart. Okay, so Scorpio here, Mercury retrograding here, will give us all of us collectively as a shakeup. Okay, now Mars here is debilitated in the sign of Cancer, and it will be actually entering the phase of shadow period, right? Because it's acting retrograding around it's retrograding around 9th or 10th of December something, but Mars here is considered to be in shadow period starting from next Monday. Mercury is retrograding in the Scorpio, and then the Lord here is also debilitated, right? And trying to move retrograde also. So what does that mean? It shows there can be a shakeup in terms of your mental and emotional state of what you feel you want in life and what you don't feel like you want in life. Mostly has to do with the matter of heart and security, because Mars here has to do, is in the sign of security. Okay, so let's say, for example, there is something in your life that you've been really bothered from, or maybe you do not feel comfortable with. All right, let it be the home that you live, the career that you have, your relationship, whatever it is that you feel, I just cannot tackle this, and this is not makes me feel comfortable enough, because Mars here will shake up our comfort zone. We will be more secluded to ourselves. We'll be more kind of, I don't want to say selfish, but we'll be more selfish towards like what exactly that bring me as a person, me as an individual, me as a soul, stability, security, and happiness. Because Mercury right now it moves retrograde, it will give us most probably a good insight of what exactly we need to change. All right. Mercury retrograde will always gives us realization and kind of uh, like letting us to see things from different perspective. Again, it's not necessary to be destructive thing. The things that will happen, most probably we will have a control out of it, whether we want to take an action decision out of it or not. Okay, why? Because Mars here is debilitated. That means it's gonna be an action-oriented change most of the cases. All right, not all, obviously, depend on your chart, depend on your karma that you have to pay during this time. But most cases, you have a control out of it. You want to exaggerate or accelerate the things into certain level, then go ahead. You want to reserve it and keep it as it is. You may do it. Mercury, Jupiter, Mars at one point around like the first week of December. Yeah, the first week of December, three of them will be coincide to be in retrograde motion. So we have technically out of seven planet, we have three of them are in retrograde motion. Of course, I'm not including here Rahu Ketu. Rahu Ketu always moving retrograde. Okay, I'm talking here in the seven main graha. All right. That means almost half of the planets in the sky at this period will be moving retrograde. The only two planets which is feeling alright is Saturn and Venus. It means we as a soul, as an individual, there will be some weakness within us. Because the chart of Kalapusha, or the chart of the universe itself, it's weak. Obviously, it will weaken your chart. If you already have kind of weak chart or average, then the weakness in the sky there will kind of implement maybe during this time or the upcoming period, or when the Mercury moves retrograde, it will be a good, wonderful, golden time for you the next 3 weeks. If you have so much exalted planet and this is sitting in, I don't know, wonderful placement, and this one is very good, very nice, you will be the one who may feel mostly the Mercury retrograde or whatever chaos going on in the sky. Okay, because as if that the energy above you is against whatever you have as an individual. I hope that analogy makes sense. Okay, so again, the outcome of it, you need to judge it. But as a collective, we can see there will be some weakness in upcoming period. That means people may not know what they want. People may not know what they need. People kind of confused in their communication, misunderstanding happening, breakup, divorces, cheating kind of cases. You will hear it everywhere. Exposure, because Mercury here is the planet of information, is sitting in the Scorpio. Mars here cannot protect. Mars here is in its own chaos. Okay? Whatever is supposed to be revealed, it will be revealing itself. I have no power, especially in the first 2 weeks of December. All right? When Mercury retrograding, Mars retrograding, Jupiter retrograding. True. Mars, when it's retrograde, which we're gonna talk about later on, is creating Nijbang, right? When debilitated planet go moving retrograde, that's mean it gives some power. True. But it's in Cancer, okay? It's still in Cancer at the end of the day. It's still not like going to reach the point of exaltation, I believe, in Navamsha. So there is still some weakness. Debilitated is debilitated regardless whether it's in which sign it is. But retrograde can give that slowness a bit in movement. That instead of us being very impulsive, now we're gonna kind of pull down a bit our impulsiveness because, oh my God, what type of chaos that I have done or what type of waste people are bringing to me right now. I think I need to kind of moving backward a bit and just observe. Mars does not feel comfortable in water sign, and some more you putting it in retrograde. Pisces can be also not really very nice placement. Okay, so this is one thing where we can see. The second thing what we can see here is that when it comes to the effect or who gonna feel the retrograde Mercury the most. Okay, again, we will just put it on the one list here. Number one, if you are going to Mercury, Mahadasha, okay, Antradasha, the and Priyantradasha or and Priyantradasha, okay, you will definitely feel Mercury retrograding in your chart. All right. So this is first category, which is the most intense one. All right. Two, if you are actually have a planet sitting in Scorpio itself. Okay. So Scorpio, Mahadasha, Antradasha, and Priyantradasha. So if you have planet that is sitting in Scorpio, all right, and you are actually going through these planet, Mahadasha, Antradasha, Priyantradasha, definitely you will feel it. Okay. Third point here is people who have a Scorpio ascendant, all right, or seven house. Well, technically, the most people who are gonna feel affected of this, the water sign, all the water sign triangle, okay, they will actually feel it. But mostly, obviously, will be Scorpio Taurus people. Either it's sitting in the seventh house or your Ascend Lagna. You will feel like something just not really nice. Okay, or you feel some disturbance, or just like surprise things are gonna happen. Again, not necessarily to be negative way though. Okay, all right. So this is one thing. Now everybody will keep asking me, Nadia, from which perspective we need to read it. Read it from your ascendant and Mahadasha Lord. Don't read it from moon. Moon is very teeny tiny planet. It will gives and reflects to you when it comes only to the mental and emotional state. It's not gonna reflect of how the physical manifestation of it gonna give, okay, or what type of results it's gonna give. True, some people may feel it, okay, via moon. I understand that, but in my own experience and what I have seen, reading the transit from the moon is useless. Okay, is useless. Okay, if you like it, you can go ahead with it. Now, the third point, which is the last one, check your Ashtag Varga. Okay, you see, let me get it. It's here, Ashtag Varga. Here we go. So, for example, my Mercury is in the seventh house. See, this is the Scorpio box, right? You look at it in the seven box here. Okay, it's 23 point. That's mean the house here is average. So how many point Mars gives to the, oh sorry, Mercury, sorry. How many point Mercury gives to the seventh house is giving me 2 point. Well, that's mean this Mercury Mahadash, Mercury retrograde can be very average for you. Okay, can be very average, and you just need to be careful. Again, you check the hashtag Varga only in the cases that I mentioned, that you're going to Mahadasha, Antradasha, Priantradasha of Mercury or planet sitting in Scorpio. Okay, if these things confirm, then you check hashtag Varga. If this thing actually not applicable for you, then you don't have to check hashtag Varga. Does mean even if checking hashtag Varga, the result that you give only maybe 20%, 30%. Why? Because you're not going through that activation. Not necessarily every movement in the sky will impact you, right? Common sense on that. Not every movement in the sky will impact you. You need to have that discernment. If literally I am going through this activation, then okay, maybe I have to check, maybe I have to get to be alerted. If I'm not, then it's not, simply. Okay, now let us just jump into analyzing for each zodiac sign. Okay, so we start with Aries here. So Aries, we have Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Scorpio of your 8th house. And Mercury is the ruler of your 3rd and your 6th. Is indicate that maybe if you've been waiting for some information or some guidance in certain things, it may come to you during this period. It shows that some revelation about something will come up to you. It shows maybe also some disturbance either in your marital life or with in-laws may happen during this time. You need to be careful of your health and well-being because it can show some weakness, all right, and injuries and maybe pain either in your shoulder or in your lower abdomen areas. All right, Mercury retrograding here may make you feel like you want to stay away from people, isolated, detached, all right? It can be slightly heavy mentally and emotionally on you, but as long as you stay calm and just try your best to attain that peace within you, you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so good luck for Aries people. Now, when it comes to Taurus, now, Taurus is one of the most highlighted people that will and may get affected because Mercury retrograding in your 7th house, all right? Some pending karma related to marriage, relationship, partnership, friendship, it may show up or revisit again during this time. All right, some past life karma, maybe it also past life karma of you cutting someone or someone reconciling with you. It may happen during this time. Mercury retrograde in the 7th house indicate the change and shift in the way how you see relationship, partnership, and connections in your life. Can be quite transformative. Maybe you will realize something or something hidden. It will be revealed to you in upcoming period. Okay. Um, it's not really, it can be heavy if you are actually going through a rocky situation when it comes to relationship, right? If you are going through that, then Mercury will give you the conclusion whether this connection need to be pushed through and work out or not. Okay, you will have that, okay, now I know, now we are finalizing the situation. All right, so good luck for Taurus people. Now, jumping to Gemini. So for Gemini people, we have here Mercury is retrograding in your 6th house and is the Lord of the 4th and Lord of the Lagna. It shows the person may go through some disagreement or uneasiness related to family members, home, real estate, property, all right? Which means it can show unexpected issues and problem among the family member will come up and you need to kind of be there and solve it and fix it and help it. Okay, number one. Number two, if you've been actually stuck in some in some legal matter has to do with the property, home, housing, and stuff like that, Mercury here either will be finalizing it or it will make it slightly delayed. Okay, it depends on how the flow is in the last 2 weeks. Mercury in the 6th house, it can indicate someone who may feel weak physically also. So that's mean you'll be prone to get sick more during Mercury retrograde. So you need to be careful. All right. Mercury retrograding in the sixth house. You need to be careful of your enemies and opposition in your workplace, because suddenly they will start to reveal themselves, or they will try to create a problem and issues for you. Okay. You need to be careful of it. In some cases, Mercury in the sixth house also can indicate unexpected small surgery. All right, like a small procedure, because it's not shows the big one. Sixth house can shows a small one. Has to do with your health, obviously, that you need to be careful of. Okay. Something maybe you've been ignoring, now it just start to show up, and you need to kind of really fix the whole thing. Okay. Good luck for Gemini people. Now we are heading to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So Mercury is retrograding in your fifth house, and it's Lord of the third, Lord of the 12th. It shows that Mercury retrograde can actually bring a past life or past relationship into your life during this period, or past lovers, or something that which is not really concluded. Yeah, it will start to show up during this period. If there any miscommunication, misunderstanding with people around you, especially has to do with your lovers, siblings, right? Connections. Mercury retrograde can solve the situation. If the things actually is going perfectly great, then be careful that Mercury retrograde right now can actually reverse that. That's mean issues and problems in communication. Mercury retrograde can indicate that you will be reserving your energy a lot, in the sense that you will be more investing in yourself. You'll be more investing in your own physical appearance and knowledge, education. Maybe you'll feel a bit isolated and detached, right? Your perspective and views about people during this period also may change, right? There is an element of working on yourself during this period. And because the fifth house, it has to do with a past life deeds, right? It can show some past life kind of theme may happen during this time, or maybe showing up itself in order for you to close that cycle. So unexpected things actually can happen. It's not necessary to be in particular one thing. That makes sense, because the fifth house is like a box, like a Pandora box of your past life, technically. The fifth house and the ninth house. And coincidentally, because it's a Scorpio. So something like, no, like a surprise Pandora box. It will show up for you during this period. Okay. So be mindful, be attentive, just be careful with your communication. Right? That's all I can say. And also, yeah, if you are planning for pregnancy, it can also show unexpected pregnancy during this period. So good luck for Cancer people. Now, when it comes to Leo. Okay, so for Leo people, we have Mercury here is sitting, oh sorry, retrograding actually, in your fourth house, and it's the Lord of 11 and Lord of second. It depends on your situation, but it can indicate a theme related to housing, home, family members, all right? Maybe some unexpected family members may come up during this period, or some family members may travel or move out from the house. It shows there can be some troublesome and change in the dynamic of living. All right. It can also show that your property or the house that you live at need a lot of renovation during this time, or some small issues here and there that comes that need your attention. All right. And it also shows if you're planning to buy a property, you may finalize that deal during this period um, with good deal. If you've been struggling, I mean, right? In some cases, it can also show some delays. Okay, again, it's very dependent on wherever you are at. Family members may need your help and support, especially when it comes to their finance. Okay, so the main focus for Leo people during this period definitely will be a family. Okay, so good luck for Leo people. Now moving to Cancer. Sorry, moving to Virgo. I said Cancer. Anyway. Now we have Mercury actually is retrograding in your third house, and then is the Lord of your ascendant and 10th house. So can be slightly problematic because Mercury in the third house, that's mean has to do with self-esteem and confidence, and because it's retrograding, that's mean some issues or some problems with work or with people that you are dealing with in a workplace may show up, which can really shake you up. Okay, it indicates someone who will be working hard in order for them to get themselves into a track or to bring themselves up during upcoming period. It shows someone who may have an issue in communication. Sometimes you don't have an issue in stuttering. Suddenly now Mercury retrograding, you feel anxious to talk. You feel stutter. You feel you need to think twice before you saying anything or something. Then yeah, because of this Mercury retrograde. Okay, nothing dangerous. It's just that mentally and emotionally you may feel irritated and exhausted because so many things that you need to do, and you'll be working more during this time. So just be careful, right? From doing a lot of mistake and just keep repeating them because delay here can be seen strongly for Virgo people, all right? So good luck for Virgo. Now, Libra. Mercury is retrograding in your second house and is the lord of your 12th and the lord of your ninth. Mercury retrograding in the second house, it can indicate you may have a high expenses, which is unexpected. All right. It can also indicate unexpected traveling may show up, and because of that, you will have high expenses, right? Or it can indicate that if you are being investing into something, that thing either will make so much money for you, or it can cause slightly a losses, right? Which you need to be attentive and take an action accordingly. Sitting on it and watching it growing or falling apart is not gonna work out, right? You're gonna need to do something on it. Mercury retrograding in the second house indicate that the person may start actually to invest into something, right? The investment, business, agreement into something. If there any paperwork that has been stuck and you are unable to do it, now Mercury retrograde will start to give it to you. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of okay. It's decent. Just be careful from the high expenditure. Okay, and good luck for Libra. Now moving to Scorpio themselves. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so the Scorpio people, obviously Mercury will be retrograding in your head technically, aka your lagna, right? And then is the Lord of your 8th house, Lord of your 11th house. Can be a mix of good and average. I would say, I don't want to say in a word, but good. Because if you've been wanting to execute something, if you've been wanting to get something, all right, attaining something, or some money stuck here, or some matter is just not moving. Now Mercury retrograde can give it to you. Okay, can give it to you in the blink of eye. It's like unexpectedly things just start to happen and they just work out, which is great. But in negative note here, okay, or average note, let's say, can really disturb your mental and emotional balance. It shows someone who will feel very restless. It shows someone who may have a tendency to forget a lot, may have a tendency um to overwork themselves, which you need to be careful. Okay. Issues with in-laws may show up during this time. You need to be careful of, or they will have some problems and issues that you need to help them and support them for some reason. All right. So as overall here for Scorpio, it can be good, but at the same time, it can be slightly disturbing because of Mercury becoming on your head. Right? Nothing major though. Now, moving to Sagittarius. Mercury will be retrograding in your 12th house. And then is the Lord of your 7th, the Lord of your 10th. Um, This can indicate an ending of certain cycle related to your work or related to relationship. It depends on how was the flow in the last 2 weeks of your life. Okay, if you've been, for example, going through issues and problems in relationship, right? It can shows it may end the cycle right now. If let's say there is some issues and problems in your work situation, right? Either it will be ending during this time in a good note, or you may just let it go. So it's either one of the extreme here, all right? It can indicate someone who may face some losses in the business. So if you have a business, so please be careful and be attentive, all right? Mercury here, it can show someone who will have a tendency to stay isolated and detached from people. So good luck for Sagittarius people, all right? I mean, it just that as long as you just stay calm, stay quiet, don't react, you will be fine. Because at this point of time, I think for Sagittarius people, whatever happened to you, because it just meant to you, so you won't have really a lot of um control on it, unfortunately, because it's just a 12 house. All right. So I just wanted to say that lastly. Now moving to the sign of Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn people, Mercury is retrograding in your 11th house, and then is the Lord actually of your 6th and 9. This is can be quite decent period. It can be quite decent period. If let's say, for example, you have some wishes or desires, or you've been working on something, but you are unable to fulfill it, right? Maybe during this time, Mercury will kind of give it to you. If let's say, for example, you've been going through a lot of hiccups and problems in life, all right, whatever it is, it may start to come up to you. If let's say, for example, Mercury, because Mercury is the lord of the eighth in ninth house, it shows expansion in professional network circle, learning something, or you the one who will be educating or teaching people. It can be possible, but in a negative note here, it can indicate misunderstanding, miscommunication with the people around you, especially who are close to you in the work space. All right, so it can create a conflict, which may be because it's the sixth house here, it will kind of reveal to you who really likes you, who really doesn't have that emotion in the first place, if that makes sense. So enemies and opposition in this professional network circle and work, it may show up during this time, so you need to be careful, right? And if you are planning for traveling, it may also happen during this period. Okay, so good luck for Capricorn. Now moving to Aquarius people. Mercury here will be retrograding in your 10th house, and is the lord of 8th and 5th house. This is obviously the theme strongly showing up in regards to the career, right? So in a sense that if you've been going through a lot of hiccups and issues and problems in terms of work wise, maybe during this time the situation will get a bit better, okay, get more stable. If you've been actually feeling that something just not right in your workplace or something just need to be rectified, then Mercury retrograde will kind of reveal it to you what exactly you need to do in order for you to rectify the situation. All right. Indicate unexpected or fluctuation in your income if you have a business. All right. Mercury retrograde here can show also reshuffle and change in management, whether you have a business or you're working with people. Reshuffle, change in the dynamic of work in your department, right? Or like higher authorities, we can say. Okay. So stand still, you will be fine, but it can be quite stressful period when it comes to work. Okay, now lastly we have Pisces people. So Pisces, we have Mercury here is retrograding in your ninth house and is the lord of your fourth, lord of your seventh. So this is can indicate someone who may start to realize things about their relationship, home, family, partnership. Ninth house also indicate a house of luck and abundance. Same thing what I explained for Cancer people. It can shows that whomever meant for you, somehow, some way, they will be aligned with you. Whomever meant to live your life, somehow, some way, they will live your life in upcoming period. Okay, it can indicate that you will be knowing what people intention desires from you, and vice versa. What are you looking for? What your intention towards people, right? Mercury retrograde, it can here gives you unexpected traveling and movement also. All right. If you've been thinking to permanently settling somewhere, or you just like facing hiccups in that, then Mercury retrograde may help you a lot. Okay, it shows someone who will be learning new things. It shows someone who will be expanding their professional network circle in upcoming period. I think for Pisces it should be good. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, and wishing you all the best. Stay good and be good, and see you soon. Bye.